All right, my name is Eric Davis. I'm co-founder of Camp Second Chance, camp manager, site coordinator, and Lehigh employee.
Okay.
Okay.
Could you tell me a little bit how this came about to be?
Well, 24 of us broke off from Share Will's Tent City 3.
Okay.
We had a discrepancy with the way they handled their funds and the way they managed the camp. We disagreed with all the political stuff they had us do. Being homeless, you shouldn't be asked to do all these other things outside the camp other than looking for work. They had other ideas they wanted you to do. So, knowing that we had ran and managed camps for at least 5 years, picked them up, moved every 3 months. We knew how to set up a camp, how to manage it, and how to keep it clean and sober. One of the biggest things we wanted was sobriety, which they weren't practicing there. So we set the camp up 2016, April 9th, at Riverton Park, United Methodist Church. Beautiful lady, Pastor Jan, bless her heart. She allowed us to take up space there for a little over 3.5 months.
Okay.
Doing so, we managed to do site search. So we drove around different old church hosts that used to host Tent City 3s, but they knew us as a core, but none of them would take us at the time. They'd always say, well, we got someone else coming. So finally, after that, when we stayed at Riverton Park for 3.5 months, we came and started looking at the city property. And we remembered that this particular parcel of land was slated to be sold by the city, and the proceeds were to go to the homeless. So we said, great, what better piece of land to go try out, right?
Yep.
So in the beginning, we came and we looked. We thought we had the right property, but mistakenly, we was right across the street in a small little top area over across the street. And we stayed there about a week just unloading, getting stuff done. And then we got a phone call from a gentleman said that that was his land. And he didn't mind us being there, but his phone was blowing up from his neighbors and things saying, hey man, why are you letting people squat on your land? So out of respect for him, we said, sure, we'll move and give us a week. So we picked up July 26th and moved over here across the street. Picked our carports up, walked over. And another gentleman by the name of Simon, he's an activist for the homeless. He said he'd cut the lot because we said we're not. It says no trespass. We're not doing it. He says, "Well, I'll cut it." You cut it, then I'm not. So he cut it. We came in. Soon after, about 2 days later, Officer Todd Wigby that did the corridor up and down Myers Way. This was kind of his beat. He talked with all the homeless people, all the different RVs that were parked out here at that time. And he noticed we were here, so he came in and he says, wow, this place looks great. Who are you guys? I said, we're Camp Second Chance. He says, looks good around here, man. You know the city's going to probably come ask you to leave. He said, we understand. We're just going to ask them to give us a chance to stay till we can find somewhere to go. There's nowhere to go. Rent's not affordable. And we're not looking to cause trouble or anything. We're clean and sober camping, and we're just looking to squat for a minute, you know, till we can do better. He said, okay. City came a couple times and put up signs. They tried to take our honey buckets. But over time, the community started to accept us because they saw that we was this clean and sober environment. They saw that our gates were always open. You could walk through. We had nothing to hide. There was no noise, no cops, no drugs. And that grew in the community. You know, at one time there was no street lights out there. We helped lobby with the help of Willow Fulton, one of our CSC members on the board for the community advisory for Camp Second Chance. We kept calling the city, say, hey man, it's so dark out here and there's all kind of activity going on across the street. You know, we'd like to help, but we can't see who's over there. And so there were neighbors coming up and down this Myers Way at times asking about things that were missing. And they would check us because we were the first person they see. I said, look, you can look in here. You can go behind any tent, go in any tent. But your best bet is to look over across the street in those bushes. Because that's where all the RVs are. That's where all the prostitution, that's where all the meth's being done. Anything that's illegal, it's over there. It's not us. and they would find their motorcycles, their bikes, and things like
I have
that.
a question. Do you find that's difficult for people to tell the difference between different encampments?
Yeah, without them physically coming in like yourself and walking through and staying a while and getting to see that it's not scripted.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, so-and-so's coming, here's what you say. That doesn't happen here. We're completely 100% transparent, 24/7.
That's wonderful.
And so honesty is one of the best things we practice. And being good stewards of the land, of course. We believe that people have to see you by your actions. And over time, if they're paying attention, they'll see we're true to our word. So we believe in just that. For the doubters and the naysayers, I always challenge them, come on out, man. Stay for a while.
Now, this is transitional housing. Can you kind of explain the difference between permanent, supportive, transitional encampments? Just kind of give us a rundown on that.
So, transitional for this encampment means it's a stable environment, so your services can actually catch up with you. In other words, when you're moving around, you're not stable enough, your mail gets lost, your appointments with different counselors or even jobs, they can't find you. But being in a stable place long enough gives you a chance to catch up with your case managers and your hospital people and your job interviews, and also gives you a chance to solidify yourself, get grounded. Because when you're homeless, the number one thing is safety, and being able to come back from looking for work and your things are there. All of that stability gets you in a sense of, you know, I can take it easy for a minute. I don't have to worry about rent. I don't have to worry about safety. I don't have to worry about eating. I don't have to worry about showering and things like that. So 6 to 8 months, actually the first 30 days you feel that it's safe. But during the 6 to 8 months, all those things that you've been connected to, they find you right here, and you can do that right now. And we continue on. So the first thing we thought is transitional housing means that you're not stay here forever. So now with Lehigh and having a case manager, that helps interview people, take an assessment, do the HMIS assessment, so that you're in the system. So even though there's not much affordable housing out there, you're in the system. They know where to find you. And you can stack your money so that when you're ready to move, you can move. But
what does affordable housing mean to you?
Affordable housing would be any time someone on minimum wage can afford to pay rent.
Okay. All right.
You know, minimum wage to say SSI. But I'd say a good $800-900 a month would be affordable for some. And it should be a sliding scale if you're on SSI, because some people only get $750, some get $1,100, and that the disabled need a different scale.
Yeah.
But those that are able to work on a minimum wage, you need to find, you should be able to take your money and pay rent.
Do you feel that there's a large homeless population that's being overlooked that are working?
Yes. That's why we're here. There are several people here that work, have just gotten certificates from welding and going to school for different things. And there are several people that have a significant amount of money saved up to move. But they haven't built anything affordable to move in. Because number one, they want 3 to 4 times your wages to rent. I mean, the rent.
Put it together.
Yeah. The beautiful thing about having Lehigh Case Management in is they'll pay those differences for you. They'll pay that first and last month, and they'll rent the truck for you.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, so they'll even help with sometimes, so long as it's not over, you know, $2,000 or $3,000. They'll help with some old rental history that you need to clear up. So they do everything possible to move you forward, so long as you're doing what you need to do. And so this place works great for that, because we encourage people to do just that. I let them know in every Wednesday night meeting, this is not a standard place to live forever. This is a transition. As soon as you're able, if housing comes available, you're expected to take that housing. And they know it. And so even though sometimes the choices aren't very well, I encourage them to go look for themselves. And some people have found housing without the case management, because they got out and was productive. They was, had some tenacity.
They had the ability to do
that.
Yeah.
They got out, did some search, and said, hey, can you just pay the first and last? And Lehigh says, bam, here you go. So we work with the system.
Okay. What are some of the challenges you've had getting this place to where it's at now?
Acceptance. Acceptance is the number one thing, because most communities have a stigma. They only believe, like the dying in Seattle picture. Come on, really? Come on, man. They don't believe in, say, pictures like this. This is a historic moment right here. We went to the Capitol on March 18th, President's Day, and had a bill change. This is Camp Second Chance. This is Senator Joe Wynn. He's a native of White Center, and he called us up on a Friday. He says, Eric, can you put together a team to come out and speak on what is important about this law to be changed to help stabilize encampments? And we did. We did it over the weekend, got there Monday, and he let us take a picture there on the Senate floor.
Nice.
And it was a historical moment because it's never been done. So it shows that if you're really trying, those in power will help and sometimes see it. He actually came out to this camp several times before he was elected. So he knew what we were about. He just needed the other senators to hear from us, the residents. And so we had 5 different people. We had Mr. Crum. He spoke about his medical, how bad his heart is, yet there's no place for him. Yeah. Even though he has income, he's worked all his life. He even built his own house. Here, we had Mary speak about the importance of safety for a single woman. Being able to come home and feel safe at night, and her things are there.
That was a huge deal to me.
Exactly. So then we had Jaja speak about being in recovery, having a stable environment to stay clean long enough to get your mind focused and wrapped around what you used to do. Yeah. Then we had Serena speak about the same things, having mental disabilities and struggling with recovery and different relationships and things.
How important is healthcare, do you think?
Well, it's very important, because if I can't have healthcare, what am I going to do? I can't take care of myself. When things happen, you need that healthcare in place, but you need to be where they can reach you and find you too.
So habitat or housing is a part of healthcare.
Yeah.
To become healthy, you have to have stable housing.
Yeah, you got to be able to at least bathe, wash yourself, sleep right, and mentally be able to go to sleep at night and not worry about somebody running around you. You don't hear a number of frogs and crickets at night here. You wake up to birds chirping.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yes. I mean, it's just like, it's basically a community that's agreed to abide by the rules of nature. You know, there's a quiet time. So at 10 o'clock at night, there's quiet time. Till 8 in the morning. So those that are going to work will have appointments in the morning, or even those that got to do security shifts here get proper rest. So if those that want to still run around with their headphones on, mind you, keep your headphones on. You come up in the morning at 2 in the morning, you just want to come out and have a cigarette, or just a walk. Keep your voices down, be mindful of your residents. And we practice that, so it all works. When you can get enough people to get on board in a one-minded thing, it's beautiful. Yeah, the main thing is, when we speak of leadership, I take that out of the way. I say, yes, I'm in a position where my duties are to maintain safety and sobriety and handle the donors and vendors, but I also do the internal mediation. So if you and I have a conflict, we settle it as adults. Yeah. There's no screaming at the top of your lungs and using foul language. We'll come in here and we'll discuss it. And we teach that so that you don't have to call people out of their names and all that like they do in other places. And we come to a resolution that fits us both.
So you work on behavioral management of issues.
I do all kind of things. I have 13 years in alcohol and drug care.
Okay, I have a question. If somebody relapses, how is that handled?
So there's many different scenarios for that. Okay. So depends on if you're drinking, if you're smoking meth, or if you're shooting up. Whatever it is, you're going to treatment. So here's the thing. We have a saying, your actions dictate whether you stay here or not. And that means most places you're using, you got to get out. Here, I say, oh, you relapse? Come on in, man, let's talk. Or young lady, come on in, have a seat. What is it? What happened? Well, she'll go through this, this scenario, and I say, well, what do you want to do about it? I said, my suggestion is treatment. You know, they may say, well, I've been to several treatment centers. I said, well, you can't stay here once you've been under the influence. And we're not kicking you out, but we're going to offer you treatment. Now, if you refuse treatment, then that tells me you're not going to change. This place is about change. It's about moving forward, and we'd rather clean you out from the inside out. Let's deal with the addiction before you get housing. Because then you get housing and you haven't dealt with the addiction. You just took that addict with you to destroy your life all over again. And who's ever property you renting. So this is a stable place to learn how to do that. So you don't have to worry, well, if I mess up, I'm going to get thrown out. No.
There's help available, and there's a community support system.
Yeah, we're going to assess what's really going on inside if you're honest. Don't be afraid to tell the truth. We're not going to point the finger at you. We're not going to displace you because, oh, you've been using. No, we're gonna love you till you can't love yourself. And we're going to offer you treatment. The bottom line is you have to accept it, though. Now, if you don't want to accept it with all this denial, then I can't help you. And I can't leave you here to be poison to the rest of the camp. So your actions dictate whether you want to stay. And I'll tell you must leave. We'll help you get bus tickets. We'll help you get to where you want to go. And you're not barred. You can come back whenever you go get treatment first.
Speaking of bus tickets and things like that, as far as a camp, what would be some of the best supports that the city or community could offer? What would be, if you could imagine, because this is transitional housing, some resources that would really be beneficial to the people in the camp, what would those things be?
The most of them are already in place. We have the mobile medical van that comes out. We have the shower van that comes out. We have the dental van that comes out. We have the health department come out for shots and immune and all those things.
That is wonderful. Great. Well, it was wonderful talking with you. I appreciate it. Okay. And I will probably be back out to do some more interviewing and stuff like that.
You can just really come out and hang out. It don't matter.
Okay, great. I might
come on in, make yourself at home.
Okay.
Okay.